All right, so we're not done with planning. Now, during this entire process, we're going to be unearthing a lot of reality, what we said. Oh, it's going to take this. It's really risky. You know, we could do that, but if we did this really well, ooh, we could get ahead of the market, and these other processes will be easier if we did this process early. You know, whatever, these activities. So we're going to be uncovering a lot of risks and opportunities as we develop our charter, we start talking about our stakeholders, we go through all our baselines. So I don't want you to think about this third flow as occurring later. I want you to think about this third flow as occurring like while the others are happening, all right? And continuing throughout the entire project. And I'm gonna visualize this risk flow, number 3, one of my favorites. Here we go, make it big time, all right? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna visualize it so that we can see exactly what happens, all right? So I visualize it as a funnel. Looks like a funnel right there, you see that, okay? Now, the first thing we do with the plan, that just tells us how we're gonna go about and do it. That's our instruction manual. So boom, plan's easy. Now, identify risks. That's what we're doing, constantly pulling in risks that are related to scope, schedule, quality, cost, all our stakeholders, whatever. We're making a big long list, and it's called a risk register. That's what we're getting here. So all the risks, let's say there's 569 risks. Goodness me, there's a lot of things that can go, a lot of landmines in this world. Great to know about them. All right, so we got a big long list. Awesome. We put some attributes toward them. What are the details with the risk? What do we understand? Now, we want to go down and we want to sort these risks right off the bat. All right, because all 569 are not, you know, the same. Some are really bad, some are really weak, whatever. So we roll down next into perform qualitative risk analysis. Now, what that does is we take a rough cut. We take a feeling, a belief, an understanding right now of what the probability and impact is with each risk. Now, what's that going to do? It's going to sort our risks up top, in the middle, down below. All right. So the big ones, risk and opportunities, bad things and good things could happen. I only think negatively, but good things do happen. All right. And so we want to understand the probability of each so we can rank them. All right, cool. So as we get down there, we're going to have that sorted list of 569. All right. Now, when we do that, we're going to see them on this basic chart. This is a probability versus impact matrix. Okay. So probabilities up and down, impacts to the side. We have threats on one side, opportunities on the other. You can see little dots popping up all around here, and we'll be able to rank our risks that way. The things in that darker section, as we see this probability impact matrix, those are the ones that we really want to focus on first, right? And then as we go down deeper away from the core center, that's what we focus on, okay? Now, next, we get into the quantitative. So we're going to go deeper, numerically into understanding the real cost of each high level risk, or the lists that are high on the list, and opportunity. And we also want to understand how each individual risk affects the entire risk profile of the project. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that each individual risk plays a part in the big game about how risky the overall project is. So that's what we're doing in quantitative, okay? And we're gonna get sensitivity analysis. That's where each one of these risks is ranked by the amount of correlation or relationship it has to producing an output. Like at the bottom here, it's duration. So the schedule link. Like if some of these things happen, our schedule might go really bad, or it might not go so bad. Whatever it is, we're going to understand that here, okay? Now, that's for the individual risks that we keep our eyes on. This is what we're getting. Looks like an S-curve for the cost baseline, doesn't it? It's different. What it's saying is this is the overall risk profile. You get this through Monte Carlo analysis. Ooh, fancy words. Monte Carlo analysis. We're just running a lot of occurrences of all the risk. What if all the bad things happened? What would be our total spend? What if nothing happened? What's the chance of that? And then what would be our spend? And then what are all the different occurrences in between, okay? And what it does is it creates a curve. These are just little dots really close together, thousands and thousands of dots, and it makes a curve, all right? And so it says that basically, here's the example right here. 85%, there's an 85% chance of our project costing 2.45 million, we see here and here, or less. All right, so it's a worst case in a sense. So that shows the overall profile. How could this be valuable to us? It would have us say that, oh, our overall risks, we understand the big ones, the little ones, but our overall risk profile puts our risk in a very our project in a very risky position. Our overall risk profile might be really bad, and it might not be something that we're comfortable as the project manager and the sponsor risk tolerance to maintain or handle. We might have to take some scope out of the project. We might have to take, some other things to adjust or do other risk process, do other things to accommodate the risks to lower our risk profile so that it's, a less of an impact to us. Okay. So this helps us visualize how the risk is going. This happens on big projects, right? So as we know now, we go from the qualitative to the quantitative. Then at the end, we got a really good understanding of what the big risks are and opportunities. And we're going to dive down at the bottom into this risk response plans. Okay. These are the distinct things that we're doing to address those risks and opportunities. All right. And we have a risk owner. We have trigger conditions that tell us we know this risk is happening. Then we have, plans against them, risk response plans. First thing, contingencies, backups, all the things. Think of them arrows, quiver of arrows like your Robin Hood or something like that. And then, see a risk, trigger condition happens, pull it out, shoot it, hope it works. All right. Now, risk responses, I'll ask you a simple question. Free or not? No, not free. Nothing in life is free, unfortunately. All right. So these cost money. So where is that money accounted for? That money is accounted for in the baseline because we know about these risks. We've identified, we think there's a probability that they're going to occur, and we know what the response is going to be to deal with them. Okay. So we're going to call that contingency reserve. Contingency, I've made a C and I'll make an R, whatever. Contingency reserve. And that goes back into our baseline. So as we're seeing here, I told you earlier, we're going to do this risk thing while we're developing those baselines. That's awesome. And it's going to help inform and create, what do we say? A perfectly realistic or realistically perfect schedule and cost plan. All right. Beautiful. So that's what we're doing with the risks there. So I love this one. I'm going to tell you, I love them all, but they're all my babies. I love them all. But here's what we're getting to. We're better planned. Think about the bow constrictor. We took another squeeze of alignment. We know exactly what we should be focusing on. And what we go through here is we're going to talk about selecting the ideal strategy for those risk responses. Now, there's threats and there's opportunities. Good news stuff, bad news stuff. Now, when you have threats, when you're picking these risk responses, you could escalate it, bring it up to a higher power that can help us out. We could avoid it, meaning we're going to change the actual plan to avoid these risks. We just if we're Titanic, I don't know if you guys know, it sinks. But if we were to avoid it, we would just go south instead of straight up in the Northern Passage or whatever they did and just get away from icebergs. Just our total path has changed. Or we could transfer. That's where you hire or you get insurance or something where you transfer, take the risk and put it on somebody else and you pay for it to limit the risk for you, okay? Or mitigate it, that's tweak, adjust, do something to lessen the impact. And then accept. You're just gonna take it on the chin, man. Not a big deal. We're resilient. We got project resilience. We can deal with this. We're just gonna take it on the chin. Now on the opportunity side, there's 5 as well. We could escalate as well. We could exploit. We could dive into it, direct our ship into those good times to make sure that we get it. And then share. We could partner with somebody to make sure they do this well. We want to make sure we take advantage of this. Enhance, tweak the project to get to that benefit, or accept. We're just going to take this good news right on us. So as we go through here, okay? So that's how we go. Think of it as a funnel. And this funnel exists the entire project. So this flow goes over and over and over. It's just dropping a new risk as you go through here. You're getting in the executing, the planning, whatever, wherever you are, monitoring, controlling. You're just looking for new risks always. You drop them in the top of the funnel. It goes through the whole bloop, bloop, bloop layers. And at the end, if it gets to the bottom, we get a risk response plan. That's risk. That's number 3, guys. All right. So that is number 3. Now, I told you that risk starts early and it keeps going all the way through. I like to visualize stuff. I want you to visualize stuff. So I want you to see this guy having 2 people on his shoulder, a risk guy and a knowledge person. So a devil and angel, whatever you call him. All right, like he has here. So the risk guy's right there through the entire project saying, ooh, that's going to go bad. What could go bad? Oh, that's going to bite us in the butt. Like all these things, putting those risks out there and the opportunities. So we put them on the list and keep them visual. Now, also, there's this managed project knowledge here. That's that angel on your shoulder that's saying, let's use the things in the past to navigate our project in a good way, to plan it out. Or we had a mistake. Let's record it. That'll be very helpful for instructing us in the future or other project. Or that went awesome. Let's write it down so we can teach other people. That's what the managed project knowledge. So you have those two little guys sitting on your shoulder the entire time. The devil and the what do you call it? The angel. How am I forgetting that? And so those are the things you have on your shoulder as you go through. And that's key to getting them into the risk flow.